There we go. Okay. Just to let everyone know as well, this session has been recorded like the last one again. So we can re-upload it onto our YouTube as well, just to make everyone aware. But I suppose we should dive straight in, James. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. I'm Rob. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Senior Marketing Executive here at the Target Integration Group and Albron. I'm joined here by my colleague James, who's our Senior Microsoft Consultant. And obviously, before we kick off, I wanted to quickly introduce the Target Integration Group and Albron for those of you who may not know. Or anyone who's not familiar with us. So Albron is our UK-based software development company. We've had sort of over 20 years of experience building tailored digital solutions for businesses, whether it's custom software, optimizing companies' 365 stack, SharePoint, and Microsoft Copilot implementations. So we help organizations streamline their operations and drive their efficiency through using the right technology. And we're part of the Target Integration Group. So I know some of you may be joining us from the Target Integration Group, which is amazing. The TI Group also provides digital transformation services worldwide, from ERP solutions to CRM, consultancy services, and even IT and cloud services as well. So before we dive straight in, because I know some of you will be joining us for the first time, this might be your first webinar. We have done these in the past. Obviously, today we're taking a deeper dive into Microsoft Copilot and that use, the business cases for it into 2025. We've got a previous one where we've introduced it with James here. So before we kick straight off, James, into that demo, should we have a quick chat about what actually is Microsoft Copilot?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good morning, everybody. So as Rob said, I'm James McDowell. I'm Senior Microsoft Consultant in the Target Integration Group and Albron. Yeah, so we touched on this last time. So Copilot is a generative AI product that's developed by Microsoft and built into the Microsoft stack. So it has some similarities to other AI products that you might have used already or might be familiar with. ChatGPT is normally the one that comes up, but Google Gemini is another popular one, and there's a lot out there now. I mean, this industry is accelerating. Copilot's split into two main areas. So there's Copilot Chat, which you may have seen appear in your Microsoft 365 environment now. You'll see the little Copilot symbol pop up. And that is basically just like ChatGPT. So it allows you to ask it questions and it will go out to the wider internet to sort of bring back answers on that. So you can interact with it in that way. And then we've got Copilot 365, which embeds Copilot into your common productivity apps, like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, SharePoint, Teams, and Outlook. And this focuses Copilot in on your Microsoft tenant, so you can actually analyze, summarize, interact with your data, your documents, your emails, your calendars, and it lets you do lots of creative things. And we will show a couple of examples of that in this webinar.
Awesome. And obviously, to summarize that as well, James, obviously the two different arms of Copilot, there's that free version that you have on Edge or on your desktop now. And then there is the paid service as well, which is obviously what we're going to be discussing today. So is that's a separate license, is it, James, to your usual?
Yeah, it is. And a big thing that comes up a lot is return on investment. You know, is it worth it? Is it just a gimmick? Does everyone need it? We mentioned this last time. This is really a decision within inside your organization. Once you become familiar with the capabilities of the paid version and what it can do, I suppose it's seeing who would get benefit out of that and who would actually be able to make. And we've had these conversations internally to us. So we've assigned licenses to people, particularly around the project managers who use it a lot for in the Teams and Outlook apps to kind of manage their time, summarize meetings and things like that. But we are pushing more into some of the creative content now, which might fall onto your doorstep, Rob. Possibly.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing, James. All right, do we want to dive straight in then into our demo then, James? So
Yeah.
where do we want to touch on first? I know last time we were discussing some of the meeting summaries and things like that we can get out of Copilot.
Yeah, I'm just checking you can see my screen, Rob.
Yep, that's all come through from my side.
Yeah, so within the Microsoft 365 homepage, as you can see just below the home button, we've got the Copilot button, and this brings you through to the Copilot screen. At the top of that, we've got a toggle switch between web and work. So if you've not got the paid version, you will only see the web option, and that's what we said is like ChatGPT, where you can sort of talk to it and interact with the wider internet. But if you toggle it into work mode, it then focuses it back in on your 365 tenants. You can start interacting with your documents, your files, meetings, your colleagues, and stuff like that. So we'll just do a quick example. This is one that's quite popular. So I've started typing that, and then now it's suggesting a prompt, which is create an FAQ based on document. So if I select that, it's populated the rest of the prompt for me, but it's given me the option now to select a document. So if I go through, and I'm going to pick this one, Cred Studio User Manual. Now, Cred Studio is a secure passwords database we've developed here at Target Integration. And this is the user manual we've produced to go along with that. So if I select that, so I've asked it to create an FAQs now based on that user manual. And if I start that off, so it'll analyze the document. And now it's producing, as you can see, really quickly, an FAQs document. So we can actually review that now, check that we're happy with the output of that, and then we can include this FAQs as part of that original document now. So it was just as simple as copying and pasting straight into that Word document. This is quite a popular thing, actually, FAQs. It's been available in OneDrive for a little while, but it's starting to come into SharePoint now. And as you can see, you can do it straight from the Copilot home screen as well. So that's one user case. Another thing we've been playing with, I'm just going to move this video down. If you can see on the right hand side, so there's a sidebar that pops up with agents. Now, agents is becoming a popular buzzword with AI in general, but particularly with Copilot. So agents allows you to create your own kind of Copilots yourself. There's a Copilot Studio where you can actually create these yourself, connect them to different knowledge sources like SharePoint sites or websites or things like that, and actually get it doing specific tasks for you. So, for example, we've created one which is a turbo chatbot, which we're going to embed on our new website. The advantages over a standard chatbot is we can actually connect it into other features within 365 like Power Automate, so we can actually initiate Power Automate workflows from a conversation, and there's lots of other features like that. So we will, in a future webinar, take a real deep dive into agents, because these are coming more and more popular. As well as creating your own, you can get them as well. There is a catalog of ones, so I would recommend, if you've got access to this, to go and take a look at some of those. We've just been working on one with our HR team about screening CVs. So we've created an agent that will actually look at hundreds of CVs and actually screen them based on a job description and search criteria we give it. We did check the accuracy of that. So we actually tried this on a job vacancy that we'd already filled. And what we did is we compared the agent's output to what our HR team had done manually, and it was identical, which was obviously impressive and quite pleasing. Another one you can see from this pane is Visual Creator. So this is probably was less used at the beginning, but this is becoming more and more used. So a lot of people were interacting with Copilot and things like that through text mainly, and asking it questions, or working with sort of Word documents and that. But with Visual Creator, you can actually create images now, but also videos. So I'm going to see if we can do a video about cyber awareness. So I've asked it to create a video about cyber awareness. So see if this will generate. Sometimes it takes a few seconds because I'm screen sharing as well. So at the moment, this is actually going to create this completely for us. Now, I believe they're limited to about 90 seconds at the moment, but this kind of functionality is being developed all the time. I'm hoping in the not too distant future we'll be able to connect into actual video footage that we've created. I know when you're creating visual content now, particularly in PowerPoint presentations, you can get it to use your company branded PowerPoint slides to actually create a PowerPoint presentation, so it's fully branded from the get-go. It's taking a few seconds, this. We'll
I
let
think
that
in
run.
terms of the time save for this as well, James, at least from my side, from a marketing perspective, is huge. A 90-second video from my side to edit from scratch probably takes most of a day, where I can get a lot of the content built in a few seconds here, and then I can edit around that. I think that's some of the power of Copilot, which I really enjoy.
Just trying to give this a bit of a kick. Oh, didn't like that. Apologies for that. That seems to have, it doesn't like it when I'm screen sharing, unfortunately. But I might be able to show you one that we created. So this is one that we actually created for a workshop that we were running. Can you hear the audio on that?
Welcome to Target Integration's Transition Year program. We're excited to take you through an incredible 5-day journey where you'll learn, grow, and have fun. Let's dive into what each day has in store for you. Day 1 is all about introductions. You'll meet your peers and facilitators, and we'll give you an overview of the program. Get ready for some icebreakers and team building activities to...
So I won't play all that, but that was an example of one we created for a workshop we were running for some students this week. But that video was generated from just a Word document that our HR team had created about this workshop, and it generated this video in about 4 seconds, which we could then share with the students, so they got a really nice sort of polished introduction to the week they were going to spend with us. So does that make sense, Rob?
Yeah, no, that's so great. I mean, with that as well, presumably then once we've created that video, we can query against it, have it change around different elements and things like that.
Yeah, so when it, if people are not aware, if they haven't used Microsoft Stream, which is an app within 365, that is kind of like the video library, but there's also another application. It was built into Windows, but it's now part of 365 called Clipchamp. And that's a video editing software, image software product. I use it to create demo videos. But Clipchamp and Stream are actually merging now. So when these AI videos are generated, they're actually saved into Stream, but then you've got all the features of Clipchamp to go and kind of change the audio, add your own sort of splash screens, add text to the footage as well. So this is kind of getting more and more advanced, and you're going to be able to do more and more with it. So yeah, as I said, for someone like who's in marketing, this is a real time saver and quite a useful tool.
We've James actually had a question in the Q&A chat here, which is, are the videos always in an American accent? Is that something that we can change around?
Yeah, this is something I've raised as well. I did prompt it to try and create one with a British accent, just to see if that was possible. It didn't actually do that straight away. So I don't know whether this is because this is reasonably new, and obviously Microsoft is an American company, so I think why. But I know there's a lot of changes happening to this as speaking, and like I said, AI in general is moving so fast. So I'm pretty sure soon we're going to be able to have a lot more flexibility with these videos. So a bit like with the PowerPoint presentations, when you can get Copilot to create a presentation for you. The way I look at that is it's a fantastic start, because it can generate slides very quickly with all the animation in, to sort of get you going, and then you go in and tweak it and adjust things and move them around. And I think this will be the same with the video creation, that it will give you like a head start, and then you'll be able to go and play with it and edit it a bit more. But we are keeping an eye on what's coming on this and the features. So yeah, I think this is just the start for stuff like this. Well, then we'll move into something less creative and a bit more functional. So in Excel, there's this at the start didn't seem to be as many options with Copilot in Excel at the beginning. Word and PowerPoint seem to have a lot more, but this has changed quite a bit. I got this to generate some test data. So Copilot actually created this spreadsheet for me. I just asked it to make some made up sales data based on UK regions, and it gave me this file straight away to download. But the kind of things you can do now, you can see the Copilot button has popped up when I've highlighted this cell. And if you select that, you've got a few options here now. So you can get it to suggest formulas. You can get it to summarize your data. You can get it to, there is a lot of integration with Python now, if anyone's gone that far and they're kind of coding. But we could just show you a quick example. So conditional formatting. So if I click that, and it'll open up the Copilot pane. And then it gives me some suggested prompts. You can type your own in as well and reference different cells. But if I just select this one here, highlight rows when cells are greater than 3,180, it will analyze the data on this to get an understanding of it, and then it will come back. So it's suggested some conditional formatting there, to highlight in yellow, and if I just click apply, it's now gone through, and any row that meets that criteria has now been highlighted. So for those of you that use Excel quite a bit and you've got quite big spreadsheets, being able to do things like this fairly quickly, I mean, it was a little bit slower, but it sometimes is on a screen share. But being able to sort of analyze in bulk large data sets in Excel, or apply sort of conditional formatting very quickly like that, or even get formula suggestions. I know that's something people I've spoke to have found really useful if they're not too confident with formulas. Having that kind of AI assistant to sort of give you a nudge in the right direction is really useful as well. So yeah, Excel is getting the features in Excel are getting a lot more, and it's something we're using a lot more internally.
Brilliant. Sounds good, James. No, it's definitely another one which I'm always Googling different formulas and things like that in Excel, because I am terrible. That's another one that was going to be a big time save for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, another one I'll show quite quickly is Microsoft Forms. This kind of gets overlooked a little bit. So Copilot is available in Forms, as you can see, and you can actually, for those of you that create forms, you'll know it's a bit like creating a PowerPoint presentation from start. Sometimes you don't know where to begin, or it seems to be taking a long time. But we can, if we create a cyber, where help if I could spell, awareness test for new employees. So I've just asked it to create a cyber awareness test for new employees. So if we generate that, take a little bit of thing, and there we are. So we've got all the questions, or it's given us a good start anyway, and selected answers. So for those of you that do create forms and that, you can see that's giving you a really good start on that. We've tried this on other examples with one of the schools we worked with about creating a maths test, but giving it a bit more context around create a maths test for this age group. So it'll actually take that into account and actually produce the questions based on who the target audience is going to be. So yeah, a lot of this content creation is really useful, and it's a great time saver, because if you're having to create documents in Word from scratch, or create new forms quizzes, or if you're having to create PowerPoint presentations, having that kind of turbo boost at the beginning to give you that start is obviously a fantastic time saver, and then you can go in and sort of make slight adjustments, but the bulk of the work's been done.
Awesome, James. Sounds good. I know I've had another question in the Q&A here, James, regarding the previous demo that we ran through, where we queried a Word document regarding the security of Copilot. So in regards to permissions and conditional access and things like that of that document, who would have access to that? Would Copilot have access to all of it, etc.?
Right. So this does come up a lot. So security has been built into Copilot from the get-go. Microsoft will really had that right at the top of their agenda. Copilot won't give you access to anything that you don't have permission for. So if you don't have a permission, for example, in SharePoint to a certain site or document library, then Copilot won't return any answers or any analysis from that site. So it's all based on your permissions. If you find that you can see stuff through Copilot, that's not Copilot that's done that. That means your permissions weren't correct in the first place. So actually, Copilot can help in that way by shining a light on maybe where there is sort of a lapse in permissions or there's some security issues, but it can't override that. We've tried it, for example, with our project management system. So you can connect Copilot to external data sources. This is something we've done internally, connected to our project management system, which is Redmine. And in that system, I have access to approximately 25 projects. And when I asked it to generate data about some of those projects in there, it will only show me information from the projects I've already been assigned to and I've got permission for. It won't give me access to everything. Now, the only people that will have probably access to the whole lot of people with global administrator permission, but they've already got access to everything anyway. Copilot's not giving them anything that they don't already have. But actually, the deployment of Copilot, I think we touched on this last time. One of the things you need to take into consideration when you're doing a rollout of something like this is it gives you a fantastic opportunity to kind of pause and take summary of your existing setup anyway. So I think if you haven't already rolled Copilot out or it's something you're considering, security should be on that list of rollout objectives, and you should go through and have a proper review of your 365 tenant, who can see what, and kind of get that all set up first before you actually start releasing Copilot to individual employees.
Amazing. And following on from that, James, I had another question off the back of that, which is how do you check your permissions? So presumably that's quite a broad question in terms of 365 or anything internal.
Oh, yeah. That's a webinar in itself, but it depends what permissions you're looking at. So you can see kind of within 365 Admin Center, you can see what licenses and roles have been assigned to users. So that's things like Global Administrator or SharePoint Administrator. So you can see all that information in the 365 Admin Center. Within things like SharePoint, you'll be able to see in the site membership who's in what permission group, so owners or members or visitors. And within document libraries, if you've set any specific permissions and that's within document library settings. But yeah, I mean, that's quite a big a big thing. But like I said, Copilot won't grant you access to anything you don't already have access to. And it also, if for those of you that are using Microsoft Purview, who've deployed any kind of compliance policies from that, I'm thinking retention labels and sensitivity labels, Copilot can't override those either. So yeah, security was built in from day one, which I thought was a very sensible decision.
And so again, this has been a good train of Q&A here, actually, because another question's come in, James, which is so we're currently using OpenAI. We're using ChatGPT currently, trialing at our office. We're using the free version. Should we not be doing this? What are the security concerns regarding this compared to, I guess, Copilot?
Well, funnily enough, we've written an AI policy. Every organization now should have an AI policy, because people are starting to use AI on their personal devices as well. So we've written a policy recently and we've put very clear guidelines in. And one thing we did while we were creating that was we did a survey of staff to find out what AI products they were using, either on their personal devices or company provided ones like Copilot, to get a sort of an idea of the products that people were using and how they were using them. But we've been quite explicit in that policy about what different AI products are approved by us, and what they can be used for from a work point of view. Now, obviously, you can't govern what people are doing in their private lives and wouldn't want to, but we've basically said that anything sort of confidential internally, the Copilot paid license can be used for those tasks because we're confident in the security structure that sits behind it. But with the ChatGPT, for Copilot, it would be Copilot Web, because that's going out to the internet. We don't recommend that to be used for anything other than, well, what we've recommended is only to be used for research purposes, or training, and not actually use it for specific internal work projects. So that's what we've done. For larger organizations or people that are developing AI, there is an ISO framework now. I think it's 42001. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the ISO for AI. So I think if you're an organization that is going to be using this an awful lot, or you're creating your own AI, or you're in the tech industry like we are, then that's definitely something you might want to consider looking at, because that will then help you to get a really robust framework in place to kind of manage this. But as a starter for 10, I would seriously, if you haven't done it already, get an AI policy in place, and think about how you want your employees to use this, and what any restrictions that you might need to place on that.
Awesome. Okay, I am getting conscious of time now, James. I know we've had a few more questions to the Q&A. Was there anything else from your side before we just dive right in for those last few questions now?
No, happy to field questions.
Amazing. We've had one from Anonymous, which is, so I can't use Copilot to spy my competition.
And they're anonymous.
Presumably not.
I'm going to sidestep that one.
Yes, let's avoid that one, shall we?
If that's okay.
I know I've had a couple of questions about, are we able to get a recording of this meeting afterwards, because it's been useful. I will be sending out, well, we'll be uploading this to our YouTube, and I'll also be sending you a follow-up email.
Well, I will just say on that there is so much to show with Copilot that we kind of, it's very difficult to squeeze so much in. So if there's anything people really would like to see, if there's a particular application that you think I'd really love to see how it works fully in that, please let us know, because we can set up dedicated webinars on maybe just one app and concentrate on that. We're more than happy to do that, because we're almost sport for choice of what we include in these things. So
yeah, and to go with that as well, I mean, after the webinar as well, after we've all followed up, obviously feel free to send any questions our way as well. We're always happy to jump on a call if you've got any questions which pertain to your business specifically, because I know a lot of people will say, oh, what about this use case that is specific to my business or my industry, which we might not be able to dedicate a whole webinar to, but we could jump on a 15-minute call to have that conversation. No troubles at all.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that is actually time, gang. So what we'll do is we'll end it there. Obviously, after the webinar, I'll send everyone out the recording as well, so I'll email you all out that. And also very shortly, we'll announce the next webinar in our series as well, so we'll send that out. But yes, obviously, any questions, obviously feel free to email us in. Obviously, we'll send you across our details. I think you should have them here in the Zoom as well. But thank you for attending this month's webinar, and obviously any problems, any questions, let us know. Please reach out. Okay, thank you, gang. I think we'll hover about for the last couple of seconds, but if there's nothing else, thank you so much.